Now we'll animate the fingers. The fingers should wrap around and really grip the handle, and right now they're not doing that. Okay, they're just going right through the handle. So we're going to work on that now. Okay, and this type of motion we're going to add is going to make the fingers also look more interesting. So let's work on having the fingers wrap around the handle first. Let's go to our wrist control and go into our perspective and graph view. We want to focus on the fish channel right now. To start off, we'll hit F to frame our curve. And what we want to do here is basically delay the time in which the fist grabs a hold of the handle. Right now it's grabbing hold at frame 10, but let's go ahead and delay that about 1 frame. So we'll select that key and just bring it down 1 frame to the right. So now we get a better feeling of a grip, but that's really weak grip, so we can improve that. Okay, so now the fingers are gripping the handle there, and what we can do now is work on having the character anticipate, again, grabbing a hold of the handle. So what we'll do to do that is simply open up our fist here. So on frame 9, let's go there and just open up the hand some, like so. So he'll anticipate grabbing hold of the handle, and then boom, he grabs a hold. Excellent. And then we could have some follow through as the hand's coming up. So on about frame 6, we could go there, bend in the finger some as the arm's coming up, and then the hand opens up, and then boom. Alright, great. So if we were to hide our curves and even render from more of this angle here, so we could just focus on the hand, let's do that and see how our animation is looking. Here it is. Great. Now that's starting to look like a grip, but we have a little bit more work to do. Let's go ahead and close this out. And what we can now do is work on actually animating the individual fingers to really improve this. So what we can do is in our graph editor outliner, let's get the index curl, control click the mid curl, the ring curl, all of these curls, the pinky curl, and then we could go now to the thumb roll and the thumb root curl. Okay, so with all of these curls selected, we could hit F to make sure we could see its key and get a better view here in our perspective, or in our graph editor workspace. Okay, and what we're going to do now is just adjust our fingers some. First off, by going to frame 11, where we have set that key for the fist, and we'll just go through and key all of our curls and also our thumb roll that we have set. Okay, excluding our thumb and curl, and we'll go ahead and go to key selected. It's getting cut off in the video, but it's the second to topmost selection, just to set a key there. Okay, so there it is. Alright, great. And now we can work on the in-betweens for this. So let's go to about frame 9, and let's give the fingers here a more natural feel. And we'll do that by just offsetting them a bit. So we could go to our pinky, bring that down a little, go to our mid, bring that down some. Okay, not much. And then go to our ring finger, bring that, adjust that a bit. Okay, like so. Probably bring that up a little bit more. Okay, just so they have more of a natural feel. Alright, great. And as for the thumb, that needs to basically be down, so the character will anticipate the grab. He's not prepared for it right now with the way the thumb is set up. So let's go to our thumb root curl. We'll go into more of a top view and open up the thumb. Then we could go into more of a bottom view, go to the thumb roll and bring that thumb down. Now he's ready to grab a hold of the handle. Excellent. And then when we scrub through, he sure does. Excellent. And then what we could even do is on frame 6 just bend in the fingers a little bit more if we wanted to add a little extra follow through to that. So we could go to our, there we go, our index curl, mid, ring, and pinky curl. Don't have to worry about the other channels. Just bending them in a little bit more. Alright, great. So now we're getting a better grip here. And what we need to do is basically adjust our grip here so that it'll seem more like a grip. So let's work on that. Let's go to about frame 10, and on that frame we'll have the pinky or a few of our fingers moving a little bit closer to the handle here. Okay, so the pinky curl, we'll pull that in some, and then the ring a little bit, and even the mid, we'll bring that in a little bit there. Alright, great. Oh, and I believe I have a key on the mid spread. Let me go to the mid spread. Don't want to have a key there. Probably accidentally moved that. So we'll just take that key on frame 9 and delete it. Alright. So focusing on our grip now. Okay, that's looking better. But what we can do to make this even better is actually offset the time in which the hands or the fingers really grip a hold of the handle. So let's work on that now. What we'll do is select our ring curl through index curl. So we'll get our mid curl selected and also our index curl. We'll select these keys that now lie on frame 11 and let's move these down 2 frames to the right by holding shift, the middle mouse button, clicking and dragging. Once we've done that, we'll deselect our ring curl and just move now the mid and index 1 frame down. Then deselect the mid curl and just select the index and move that 1 frame down. Now when we scrub through, notice the feeling we get. Now we get a better feeling of an actual grip on the fingers. Excellent. So let's even check out a play blast of this. Hide our curves, and we can again just go into more of this type of view since we're just focusing on our hand. Okay, we'll get a nice shot there where we can see the motion of our fingers and render one off. How about from this angle? Here it is. Great. So now we're again getting a better feeling of a grip. And of course the hands are pulling a little bit too much off the handle, but again we're going to get to that a little bit later. So let's go ahead and close out this play blast, and now we can go ahead and start working on the left arm, or the left hand. So we'll select that and do our similar fixes, going into the fish channel, taking this key on frame 9 and moving it down to frame 10. Then going to frame 5, going to our fish channel, adding a little bend there, okay, for some follow through, and then on about frame 8, to have the character prepared to grab a hold of the handle, we'll just open up his hand some. Great, so now we're getting a feeling of a grip there. Then we can go into our individual fingers, like our thumb root curl, thumb roll, pinky curl, index, mid, and mid and yes, index curl. Then on frame 10, we'll get those channels keyed and adjusted afterwards. So let's get those keyed. There's their key. We could hit F to frame this region a little bit better. Alright, great. Now we can go ahead and at about frame 8 adjust the fingers so we get a better or a more natural feel from them. Just slightly more natural feel, like so. Maybe even bring up this index a little bit more. There we go. Alright. Okay, now the hand plants, and then we could go to frame 5 and just bend in the fingers a little bit more from our index through pinky curl. Okay. Alright, great. As far as the grip goes, we can go to frame 9 and just curl in the pinky a little bit here, and then the ring as well, and also the mid. Getting that curled in. Great. And now what we can do is just go ahead and focus in on our channels. We'll hit F. Select the index, the mid, and the ring. Take these keys that lie on frame 10, move them down 2 frames, deselect the ring, take the rest of these keys, move them down 1 frame, deselect the mid, and take this key on the index curl and move that down 1 frame. Okay, and with this done, we could go ahead and render off a play blast now to check out our results. So let's do that. Okay, so we'll find a nice view, just focusing really on the grip, and render one off. How about from this angle here? Here it is. Excellent. So that does complete our fingers right now. We've got a nice feeling of actual grip happening when the character plants his hands on the handle. And that also wraps up this lesson. So in the next lesson, we're going to work more on our final tweaks to complete the upper body. So we're just about completed.